Hello, and welcome back to Dice Dropping Saga of Ice and Fire role-playing game, Chronicles of House Weirlight. We are just kind of wrapping up in these next few sessions, sort of the first major arc of this series, and right now we're wrapping up with a lovely celebration of the name day of the twins Weirlight, Henrik and Mariella. Right now we are enjoying the festivities. There are several interesting guests that each is sort of paired off with, and we'll see where that goes. Let's begin with the outriding.
One on the land, one on the roof.
We see 7 horses race across the field at not high paces, but at a stalwart canter, near gallop, kind of heading across these kind of wide green plains, passing these deep green trees that bunch up in these that are very very lush and bracoliform. There's a weird term with the word brock in it.
I know the one you mean. Bucolic, is that what?
Yes, bucolic. Many of the trees are quite deciduous as well. That's right.
I assume that I probably do along the ride, find a small rise and then the fields of red poppies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they kind of ride kind of askance so that you don't want to disturb the workers.
Oh yeah, no. But it's like a view of it, not through it. A view of it.
Yes. They did. Lord Edmure is just like, oh, bally me. That's quite one of the most beautiful things I've ever gotten able to see. She goes, I do agree with you, Lord Tully and with Bjorni. You're not sure if Bjorni's actually trying to flirt with Edmure, or she's just actually really excited to be talking to someone who's kind of famous.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick looks at them. You see no reaction from him, but it's not like he's just like, oh. He's just like and you go out on this ride. You're out for not too long, but you end up kind of going, leading them to this sort of open glade area that's beauteous and nice, and you definitely hear the huffing of Beanie and Clarence, and maybe that it's time for a break, perhaps. Yeah. You, of course, though, are an experienced rider who can just go. Others are not quite so ready. But you kind of begin to pull off, and as you kind of come to this glade, Peony points. He goes, "Oh, look, more red flowers!" And she kind of races off and goes, "Oh, I'd love to see them." And Edmure and Peony kind of go over there, and then your handmaiden.
Constance, yes.
Yes, Constance. Sorry, yeah, my bad. I was about to call her something else. Constance goes, "I'll make sure they don't hurt themselves," and just rides off to see them, thus leaving in a quite pregnant silence. You and Patrick kind of sat on your horses next to each other, just staring forward at them, interested in flowers.
Is he always this accommodating?
He kind of takes a breath in and goes, I think you believe him accommodating, and I think more accurately would be willing accomplice. Trust me, the actions that Edmure does not come out of a sense of propriety, but more genuine interest.
He's just a good, gentle boy.
That sounds very familiar to my own brother.
Is that so?
Indeed.
I don't know much of your brother. Only that he accomplished a great deed in a tournament recently, I believe.
Yes, very great to many a lord within the reach. I am seeing some fairly familiar characteristics.
Well, I do hope you think well of your brother.
I do.
If Edmure and him share characteristics.
I do think well of him, but there are moments when I feel the 5 extra minutes of life I have had over my brother to almost be 5 years.
Though Edmure is heir, I do understand the notion. Though he is technically my senior in age, I often do feel responsible. So,
kind of.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
Yeah, he just goes, so, how, do you feel different? He's still the whole time just staring forward, not looking at you once.
In what regard?
Well, it's your, I believe the point of this tournament is to celebrate your name day, is it not?
I'm not quite sure if I feel that different. Definitely experiencing more of the pressure and assumptions of what I can attain now that I am seen a woman grown. But
I see. So your implication is you feel no different because you feel you have prepared far beyond your years for your duties here to uptake.
The only comparison I feel that I can make at the moment would be similar to a soldier going into an unknown battlefield, but having prepped as much as they can.
Ah, I see. A soldier. You mean you feel a soldier perhaps charging a line, but instead of riding a horse, perhaps an elephant?
Well, if we're speaking in terms of Savas, you definitely have the advantage on movement options, but yes.
You play Savas.
My father and brother indulges me.
He has turned to fully look at you.
My father and brother indulge me.
They indulge you?
Yes. Mostly it's one of the easier ways in which conversation flows between me and my father over a Savas board. Henrik, mostly it's done out of stubbornness half the time when we have matches.
Mm-hmm. I was under the impression that Savas was a activity that was discouraged among young ladies, what with its connection to war and violence.
Well, some wars are waged on the field, others are waged in court.
I see. I would say prepared. Do you enjoy Savas?
I do.
I unfortunately find myself lacking many willful opponents at my home. Edmure indulges me, but it's more as if getting a younger brother to eat vegetables.
I am very familiar with that pain, considering I have several younger siblings.
As do I. sits up a little more. He goes, it looks like he's about to say something, and then he goes like, it just doesn't.
She kind of like does an eyebrow arch of like,
forgive me, I realized I was about to ask something that I'm sure you would find impertinent.
I would like to be the judge of that myself, but if you deem it so, I cannot quite force you to say it.
Well, I suppose I don't know you well enough to know your mind, so I suppose you would be the best judge for such a thing. Though, I do not, of course, wish to offend. Like, merely going to suggest perhaps playing a game at one point, but I, of course, realize that it is your name day celebration, and there are, I'm sure, friends and others that desire your attention.
I think it'd be foolish of me to pass up the opportunity to meet another over the board, especially when I can possibly learn someone who has more practical knowledge of such maneuvers than the theoretical of myself.
No, I think nods. I go, a subtle tactic. You mean to flatter me, implying that you know of my intent? I think.
I'm not quite sure what your intent is, sir. You've kept most of your probably more personal opinions of yourself.
Well, you did not. I think you obviously knew who I was when Edmure introduced us, so you obviously know what everyone says about me. You know that I am experienced in war, which is what Savas is, of course, a paradigm of.
I know of your name, and I know of your house, and I know of your family. I don't necessarily know you and all of your exploits. However, if you say so, then I'm sure it'd be a very challenging game for me, and I can hopefully learn something.
Well, if what you say is true, then it sounds that we are on more even footing than I first believed. At this point, Beanie and Edmure come back, and she goes, "Look, Mariella! Look at I found these most beautiful flowers." And you see these lovely red flowers.
Do they have spindly things?
They do. They do.
Oh God!
Look how beautiful and deep crimson are. Are they poppies? He goes, oh, I mean, they might be.
No, they're not. However, they are an invasive species.
Oh.
So, thank you for removing them, but it might be better to leave them here.
Oh, please, Mariella, please have them. It's such a lovely red color. Are they poisonous?
Long exposure is not advised.
Does that mean they're poisonous?
She like removes them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
sure.
Beanie, we can replace them with something
Ooh,
else.
I would like that. Yes, I think we'll find you quite a beautiful flower. After all, a good. What is a bee without a loving flower to adorn? He goes, oh, that was quite poetic. Lord Edmure. Oh.
While the distraction is happening, she is dropping the flowers down on the ground.
Yeah, for sure. It's happening.
Yeah.
They are dropped. He goes, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, it would be appropriate. It is your name day, isn't it? I mean, it's and you invited us to ride, and I don't believe, I've paid Miss Peony and Miss Freeman. I think he had plenty of compliments, but I have yet to play our hostess. But thank you. You're obviously quite well versed in the flowers in your region. You must have studied well. must be quite a studied young lady.
Well, considering that it is very beneficial for us to know what lives in and around and grows near our crops.
Yes, I know several young ladies who don't give a fig's hair for what grows near their crops. So I think that is quite responsible of you, don't you think, Patrick? Responsible, yes.
At this point, like Mariella, it's like there's the very faintest twitch of like hiding a smile at that.
He just like because he feels it, and he goes, well, I paid a compliment. Come, Patrick, pay a compliment to our hostess. Otherwise she'll think you a frightful bore. And he just goes, and he like turns to look at you, and he goes, your eyes have flaws in them that you do not have ever once attempted to hide. So you present your flaws as something proud and beautiful. Something like that, Edmure? He goes, not really, Patrick, but all right.
He got the spirit.
Patrick just looks forward.
I thank you both for the compliments. If you'd like, and if the party feels that they can continue on, I can guide you through a bit more of the stretch hereabout before we potentially head back.
Excellent. Yes, I'm quite famished myself. I can't wait to get back to see what's up and coming before the tournament starts.
Many a thing.
I'm sure. So everybody gets on, and kind of turns. You notice as everyone kind of turns to go, Patrick does wait a little longer and then follows at the back. Constance does right next to you, and as you're in, and she goes, "Are you all right?"
I believe so. I have managed to finally gained access to Nehema. We have wonderful company. I have you back. Yes.
No, I'm talking about what was that? Just kind of gestures to the back.
I will tell you later when we have a less busy bee near us.
So you eventually come riding back. It looks like things are getting set up. The first part of the joust is about to begin. People are very excited. As you come,
falling off the roof.
just falling off the roof.
I have balance, calm it down. I've good agility.
Clarissa, you are informed that Mariella and her crew has returned.
I'm gonna go find her real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You go down to find there. You see them coming out from the away from the stables as they have given their horses away, and she's still not allowed in. But they escort her out, and you see her with Peony Beesbury and Constance and and Edmure Tully and Patrick Mallister. As you approach, you also see something else. With your, was it 24 passive awareness?
Yeah. It's gross.
It is. You see hooked into one of the flow sashes of her dresses are two Weirlights that she doesn't seem to notice are there.
I'll walk up and kind of urgently go, Lady Mariella, I apologize. Can I speak with you very quickly?
Absolutely.
Sorry. Who, Lady Marius, who is this? I think this, stunning woman.
This is Lady Clarissa Asterwood. She is currently also in service to our home, and like kind of like make a gesture, but like up by like where the steward pin is.
Yeah. She goes, oh yes, I know of you. You're Duncan's cousin, aren't you?
Yes.
Duncan
yes.
Tollison.
Rarely am referred to that way, but yes.
Hey, he's a good man. He's told me about you. He says you're, smarter than most maesters.
It's a high compliment, but thank you.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry for detaining you. It was lovely to meet you. Edmure Tully, so very rude. I'm sorry.
Yes, of course, it's a pleasure.
I think not. And of course, my companion Patrick Mouster, and he just like says nothing.
Fair. Okay. Yes, Lady Mariella, please, if you would.
Yeah, she'll like excuse herself from the collective.
Yeah.
And follow Clary.
Yeah, I'm gonna get us out of eyes and immediately grab onto her dress where the Weirlights are.
Okay. She's grabbing your dress, Mariella.
What?
Can I grab them?
Yeah.
Are they
Yeah.
You can grab them. You pull them out.
I'm just confused that you're grabbing at my dress, but
Yeah, she's just grabbing at your dress. It's weird.
And I will put them in my pocket.
Clarissa.
And say, your grandparents are here.
Oh God.
They're looking for you.
Oh God.
Yes, I figured you'd want to know. They're also looking for Henrik, if you know where he is, but...
No,
well, you know,
but
went
I
to
wish
town
one
for
of the
it's a
7
rainy
would
day anyway,
answer
so-
my prayers.
Thank you,
oh.
Mariella. I will leave you. Can I help you with something?
Is there was a flower that was not a poppy that we encountered? And like she describes like roughly where it was.
Yeah.
I've only heard of them through some of the storybooks that are kept here. I imagine it'd be wiser for me not to pry further, but that is the location where Miss Beesbury plucked some.
How many?
It's like 2.
It was like 6.
Yeah. I was able to convince her to leave them behind.
A good idea. I would avoid them at any chance you have.
So it is noted. So where are they?
Oh, your grandparents.
Yes.
I pawned them off onto Lady Vivienne. So
I just want to bring something up real fast that I hilariously forgot to mention.
Sure.
Nymora,
Yes.
you heard the whole conversation between Patrick and Mariella.
Yep, I was just sort
Yeah.
of standing off. to the
They
side.
seem to those two seem to have sort of forgot you were there.
No, I knew she was there. It's like she's gonna hear everything anyway, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Meh.
It's none of my business. He seems like a uptight but decent sort.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
It's just, he seems like, yeah. I'm just like, my eternal opinion is that she can do better, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I guess the first note is I should probably go to my room and fetch that pendant that my grandparents had given me before I
you
go
have to-
searching for my grandparents.
I would like you to make a stealth test to try to get there without running into your grandparents.
Oh, lovely.
Blend in would work here.
I
if you
don't
it.
have that. Yeah, I've only got 2 dice in stealth. Do I get a bonus because it's like crazy, like lots of people somehow,
No,
some way?
Just the TN is lower.
Awesome.
No, because you stand
A
out.
7.
A 7, that's enough.
Awesome.
Nice.
The TN was 6.
Thank God.
So you just like.
I hear them in like Tiseo or Valena's room. It's like,
Oh, yeah, you managed to get your room, get the star. It's real good. Henrik, my boy.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm here.
I need you to make an athletics climbing test.
Ooh. Don't have climbing. I do have athletics. I'll
You do.
use
Don't
that.
roll under a 3.
I will try not to.
You might die.
Oh, that would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
14. Excellent. And then we have.
It's a contest. Here we go. Who's gonna get there?
Mhm.
Eric, I have no worry about. Does matter a little, but I think she'll be okay.
Mhm.
I feel like more he's used to falling off a roof, so he'll be okay.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
She's better than you.
Just by
Oh.
one.
Just
by
by
one.
just
How
by a
that go?
hair. By a
Just by
hair. But
And what of
essentially,
Garrick?
you essentially have like the same.
He was he was
result.
already up on top.
Well, no, he's claiming. I think he's thing. All right, let's see, Garrick.
Here, you got this. Yeah, he can.
10.
That's respectable. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you guys, as you're climbing, Garrick is falling a little bit behind, and you and Desmira are about neck and neck, but she's pulling ahead a little more. She's definitely taking a lot more risks on her like pull-ups than you are. And she keeps kind of looking back to you with this very bright kind of smile. It has definite this intense competitiveness to it, but she also just looks like she's having a really fun time.
She's precious.
So let's make another.
Ooh, okay. Ooh,
9.
9. Oof.
Do you maybe want to use a destiny point?
I mean, I've got 4 now, so why not?
Why not?
Fuck it, let's
Oh my
go. It's fine. It's a walking day. We don't need to worry about
Yeah.
a walking
Don't worry
day.
about
We're
anything.
fine.
Yeah, you get a degree of success above them. You pull well ahead. Desmira is still behind you, but you are now in a significant lead. And one more roll.
you gotta keep your pocket tart so far.
I do have my pocket tarts. Those are for me for later.
14.
Oh.
Garrick.
20.
10.
Okay.
So
Going strong, Garrick.
this means, in fact, Henrik, you win the climbing contest.
I do.
Yeah, you pulled ahead of her in that second round, and that was enough because you guys got the same score. So you come up to the top, and then just 2 seconds later, Desmira pulls herself up, and then a little bit later, Garrick's like, I got it. And you and Desmira help pull him fully up. He goes, well, it's your castle. So they're like, so, it'd be really embarrassing if you didn't win. I mean, I'm a girl.
It would be.
All right, well, I guess you get the food. Garrick's like, all right, I got a sausage. And he just pulls out a half-eaten sausage from his pocket, and he hands it to you.
Thanks. Thank you, Garrick.
Desmira will, 1 second, and turn around, and I think, what's your passive awareness?
It's up now. I think it's 12?
Oh yeah, you'll see this. She reaches like basically into her bust, and pull a cream tart out, and you go, There you are. I don't have pockets.
She hand it to me.
Yeah, you're the winner.
Oh, okay. I kind of like a bit shocked. I take it. Thank you. Probably stare a little bit too long. Thank you. That's so kind.
Yeah. When you do, she like looks down at like her cleavage and like looks back at you and like raises an eyebrow.
I quickly look away real quick. Yeah. You are quite a fantastic climber. You almost had me beat there at the beginning. I thought for sure.
Yeah.
I might have to beg you to keep this a secret from anyone else if you beat me.
I was like, well, you did in fact beat me. You're a bit more. She pokes you in the chest. A bit more shy than I heard.
I mean, it's only around certain people, I suppose.
What are they? Like, am I one of those people? So, what kind of people do you mean by that?
Well, I suppose people who are something, have some sort of special thing about them that kind of leaves me at a lack for words. And I think you definitely have that.
A something special, something that leaves you for a lack of words. Oh, like.
Did I say?
Well, I hope that's a positive thing.
It is.
Like, even you know, normally girls, like boys, just comment on the color of my hair, or you know, or features or something. You know, you could just call me pretty, but I think I'll take something special, something.
Well, I already said that, and now I know that you are a fantastic climber as well.
Yes. And the view, and she turns and she like her face kind of lights up, and you've never really seen this view from this height. You see the just flowing red fields of your family's land rolling for quite some time, a lot farther than you thought you would actually go. And the wind tossing both of your hair. It's quite beautiful up here. And with a 12 awareness, you notice something. There's actually something stuck, looks like, right at the very tip top of this parapet roof that you're on top of. Yeah, it just kind of draws your eye due to its red color.
Like, turn like, that's curious. And I'll like start walking over there.
Yeah. You see, like, kind of just randomly growing out of what must have just been less than an inch of collected dirt on the top of this, kind of near the spire of this parapet, is a red flower growing out of it. It's quite beautiful.
Why?
Now, should I make a check to see if I know what this is?
You could.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay.
This is a knowledge test.
Oh, that's a bad idea then, but I will try.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sure.
6.
Right.
Not enough, unfortunately.
That's right.
You're 3 under. As it was a TN 9. But yeah, no, to you, it looks maybe familiar, but it just sort of looks like a beautiful red flower.
Well, I'll pick it.
Yeah, you pick it. And it looks quite beautiful. Do you smell it?
Nah, not for this one. But I will take it back to Desmira.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she kind of looks, she goes, oh, what's that?
It's this lovely flower I found. And, you know, without you, I don't think I would have ever seen the view from all the way up here. So, thank you for, I guess, getting me to come all the way up here and seeing this incredible view and enjoying the pleasure of your company.
Oh.
I'll hand her the flower.
Yeah, when you go to hand her flower, she goes, oh. I mean, okay. As you kind of like hand the flower, the wind sort of blows like towards you. And Henrik, my
Yes?
sweet baby boy,
Yes.
who we will all remember and love.
No. God damn it, I'm sorry.
I need you to make a will roll.
Oh, okay. mm. Now,
Boy.
Oh boy. Now I've never had to use this, but I do have like dedication and I think like the stubbornness feat. Does that count in courage? Does that can I use any of those? Does this apply? Yeah,
Not
okay.
here.
Okay. Here we go. 11.
11. No, unfortunately. That is a fail. This sort of, you kind of feel like something kind of blows off from the center pod and sort of hits you in the eye. And you suddenly feel like kind of cold. And you begin to blink and the edges of your vision begin to sort of like tunnel. And you're not really sure what's going on. And everything starts to kind of turn black and then red and then nothingness. And then you wake up, Henrik. And you're on the ground. And there's a night sky above you.
All right.
I look around and I think try to get up.
You do. You get up easily.
Okay.
You look around. You see you're in some kind of dark forest, maybe? And you turn kind of around and then you swear you've looked in the direction before, but as you look again, there is what looks like a ruin. Jesse. Oh, Henry. Oh, it's Henry.
What?
Oh, nothing. I heard some scraping. It's all good. You see what looks like ruins of like some old building, and in front of you, you see a sea of these red flowers that look really familiar to you.
I mean, I go to what seems familiar.
Okay, yeah. Begin to walk through the small field of them, and you start to sort of hear this. It's like a bell almost. It's like a hand bell, just like ding ding, ding. It sounds very off, distant. Is sort of in an offbeat, like it's not being rung with any kind of rhythm. It's just sort of occasionally. And you come upon well, it looks like these might have been old doors at one point, but they're wide open. It looks like lead further into like the courtyard of whatever this ruin used to be. And it's eerily quiet. You hear your feet moving through like the stems of the flower, but that's about it.
Could I try another knowledge check if like I'm closer to the flowers now and like looking at them?
You want
There's
to look
so
at
many.
them closely? Yeah, go for it.
Oh, closer. Yeah.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, no. But you have a good idea. You could definitely describe them very well now.
Okay.
They seem familiar.
Yeah.
And you still hear that kind of ting-ting, ting-ting, kind of coming from in the courtyard. Do you go in?
Can I go where it's coming from?
Yeah,
Follow
absolutely.
the noise? Yeah.
You absolutely can. And coming into this courtyard, you see a lack of those red flowers, except for in the dead center, and these looks like dark vines that grow up and around some kind of object that's stuck into the ground. And you see more of these red flowers coming off the vines that surround this object.
Vine, where I see the red flowers.
Mm-hmm. They're
Cautiously
wrapped around this
approaches-
object stuck in the ground.
I try to part the if I get there, could I sort of like part the flowers
Yeah.
a little bit, see
You
what's
can
there?
kind of move them a little bit, and you see what looks like the hilt of a sword.
Does it look buried in something? Is it like stuck in something besides the flowers?
I mean, it looks like in the ground. Like looks like the tip is maybe in the ground, but it's like a tall sword.
Okay.
Goes
Can
up
I
to a
move
little
some-
bit above your hip.
Alright, I want to move some of the flowers and sort of like try to dig and pull it out.
Yeah. You move some of the flowers and kind of reach and grab the handle, and when you do, you feel like the vines cut you, and you feel your blood rush down, and it's sharp and it's painful. As you try to move the sword, it moves, but only just a bit. And as you do this, you start feeling an intense pain in your hand. And you start looking around, and you suddenly see the sky has begun to turn red. And intense pain sprouts throughout your arm as through those small cuts, more of those vines are starting to grow out of your hand and starting to go down and attach themselves to the earth. You tried to pull at them, get away, but only more vines seem to come out, and more now begin to sort of wrap around your body and slowly beginning to sprout these strange spider-leaf flowers. Clarissa.
Yes.
Clarissa,
Are you in the stream too? Oh, what the hell?
you blink a bit, holding these two Weirlights in your pocket, and you just sort of look up as you see that there are raining from the sky red petals that no one is reacting to. And you realize it's... Oh god, you have a 24 awareness, don't you? It's not from the sky. It's from the roof.
Oh, fuck. Can I see anything on the roof?
24 awareness. Passive, yeah. You see some figures up there. They're very distant though. And you did hear Desmira, you were there for that conversation. You heard Desmira dragging Henrik along to climb to the top of the roof.
Do I know a way to get up there that isn't climbing the roof?
What? Well, let's make a roll, shall we? Would you like to roll a knowledge test or a cunning test?
Oh, cunning.
Then roll cunning.
All right. Does memory apply?
I would say it would, yeah.
All right. 15.
15.
Nice.
The target number.
Nice.
Yeah. Like you really look and you see the rookery tower where the ravens are. You could climb out a window and get right up on there. You just have to run through there.
Yeah, I run.
Okay, you just take off.
Mhm.
Running up. Please make an athletics running test.
Oh.
You remember these?
Oh, that's so fun! It's been so long.
Sorry, endurance running test. My bad.
There
Oh,
we
yeah, that's better.
So fun.
Can I spend a destiny die to get a bonus die for this?
You may.
Thank you. Still gonna be horrible, but no, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
You
good.
begin to race up the stairs at faster speed, this manic sense of dread beginning to fill you. Henrik, you're now completely covered in vines, and these red flowers are going to sprout all over you. What do you try and do?
I think in my mind, if I'm just pulling at them, I think I'm gonna try to like sever them more. I think I'm gonna try to get the sword out because I'm thinking like if I
Trying
can
to get the
cut
sword
myself,
out? Yeah.
cut myself free, I can leave at least.
Make
yeah.
make a You said you have a special thing in will. You said.
I have courage, and I think I have stubborn. Those might only be for social interactions, though.
Please make a will courage roll.
Okay.
13, TN 12. You reach forth and you actually get to rip through. You feel your flesh kind of being cut as you reach forward, and you grab the sword, and you're beginning to pull it free. And you do, and when you do, you begin to cut at some of the vines. You still feel pain racked all over your body, but you are beginning to sort of cut at this old rusty sword that is your blood is starting to get on it. It almost looks like things are becoming somewhat clearer on it, and you bite yourself some time. Clarissa, you throw open the windows of the rookery tower, and you look on, and you see Henrik, like on his knees, having what looks like a seizure. You see Desmira holding Garrick, so Garrick doesn't go near him. And she sees you. She goes, "Help! Please help! I don't know what's going on. He's having a fit or something." And you see Henrik is holding a Weirlight in his hand.
No,
What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm out the window and I'm grabbing it out of his hands, and then I'm grabbing his face.
Okay, you rip it out of his hands and grab his face. His eyes look almost bloodshot red, and they're like rolled back into his head. And as you rip it out and grab his face, Henrik, you feel a release from your body, and you fall into blackness and are kind of just blink your eyes a bunch. The trauma and fear of being consumed by vines still active in your mind. Clarissa, you see his eyes roll back from his head, and he looks freaked out and breathing very hard. Henry, last thing you remember, you're being surrounded by vines and flowers and stuff. What are you doing, Henry?
I see everything's clear now, right? Like I can.
Kind of, but that's sort of just journeying out of this like horrible thing. You're looking around, expecting to be covered in vines.
I think I'm just like still trying to like scrape away whatever vines I can.
Yeah,
like,
see Henrik
out
just trying to like
Yeah,
grab
I'll grab
at his
his.
skin.
I'm gonna like grab him. I'm going to
Yeah.
grab his body, and I'll say, Henrik, you're fine. You're fine.
And you see Clarissa holding your arms.
I just like fall into her, I think.
Yeah, I'll hug him.
Yeah.
Everywhere I didn't. I thought I was gonna die. I didn't know where I was. Everywhere was on. It's growing all over me. I didn't know what to do. The thing, kind of look around, see where I am now. It's like, I'm still on the roof.
Yeah. Let's. She's gonna help you stand. Let's all three of us, you two, Garrick, we'll head to my office and we will have some tea, and it'll all be fine.
Desmir nods, and you guys all kind of walk, and you help Henrik there. And Desmir does kind of very briefly say to you, Clarissa, like, I didn't know. I won't say anything. I swear.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's.
I didn't know.
It's okay. Well,
You seem to think she's come to some other conclusion than what's actually
we'll have
happened.
some tea.
Garrick looks really freaked out as you suddenly, Henrik, you kind of get back inside and you suddenly feel someone touch your hand. And it's Garrick. And he's kind of looking just a little bit up at you. And he's with very big expressive eyes. And he's just like, brother?
Calm down a little bit, but more so I don't want my brother to be scared. Because I'm scared. So it's like, sorry about that. I like kind of pat his hands like, I don't think I'm used to climbing as much as you are, and I think it got to me.
He's just like, okay. And yeah, of course, you lead them back to your office, and you make them tea.
I do.
Yeah. Henrik, the tea helps. It seems to help pretty quickly.
I'm also going to have Birch over by Henrik sitting at his feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
you.
But I'll kind of, after they've had a cup,
Good job, Beth.
I'll kind of turn to Garrick and Desmira and say, Henrik will be fine. It's only a momentary thing. It'll pass. Please don't worry about it too much. And Desmira, I very much appreciate your silence on the issue.
I wouldn't say anything. I can get Garrick back to the party.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
She smiles. And she looks like she wants to like do something for Henrik, but it like
Aw,
doesn't know.
sweet girl.
And it's just like, well, come on, Garrick, let's go back. She's like, okay. And as he kind of opens the door, she's like, did my sausage do that? He goes, no.
Oh.
No, Garrick, your sausage. You immediately hear Desmira going, no, Garrick, your sausage did not. And they close the door, so it is just Birch, you, and Henrik in your office.
Down, not meeting Claire's eyes, holding the teacup, I guess.
How much do you remember about your family's history?
Like about my grandparents and stuff like that, or
No, think more at the beginning. Nothing is an acceptable answer, Henrik. I don't expect you to have memorized like I have.
I always remember being told about some sort of weird story I never believed about a curse, and I always laughed because everything was good.
Oh.
And it was good after that. Even after the war and everything was still alright. Are you talking about that?
A little bit, I suppose. I'm not even sure where to start. It was a lot easier with Thorsten. He knew the basics, but
I don't. I think I'm fine, Claire. I don't think I need Thorsten to check me over. I think I got dizzy from the height.
Were you in the ruins, Henrik?
I know where I was.
You could make a cunning memory test.
It'd be easier for me to say no, but sure. 13.
13. Yeah, you remember that. You do actually remember the ruins of the old like Weirlight Hall. You remember you were always supposed to stay away from it because there's something dangerous about it. You remember it always looking spooky every time you had got near it when you were a kid. You kind of forgot it existed, honestly. But now that you actually think about it, you're pretty sure that's where you were.
I know I was on the roof the whole time, but I saw. I think I saw them. It was night, and I remember following this trail of red flowers, and I saw that archway door. I had seen it before from afar, and it always looked like this open mouth with terrible sharp teeth. And I walked through it, and I think I was there. And I saw some more of the flowers wrapped around the sword, and I don't know why I tried to take it, pull it out, but I did, and then they just started growing all over me and mm. Then I tried to get out, and you were there, and
The first time I went to Blood Bloom, I wasn't as lucky as you were. I was, alone. I didn't know what was real and what wasn't. I actually still don't know. But the Weirlights... they're responsible for it all. I didn't, It's hard to make the connection sometimes. I mean, it's very hard to make the connection when you're dealing with blood magic, but...
What? Clary, I just had a weird dream.
I pull out one of the Weirlights from my pocket.
Yeah.
That's the flower I saw, right?
Yeah.
Kind of get wide-eyed. That's the one. Yeah.
It's one of them. One of the many that grow.
I remember Thorsten and Father telling me about them, but I thought they were just some sort of weed that grew over poppies. They did this? Both of us, I guess? Wait, you've seen more of these?
My family was created almost exclusively to solve this problem of yours. This curse that follows you. But, maybe that's a story for another time. I've seen many. In fact, they kind of torment my every waking hour, so I would consider myself a bit of an expert on the subject. I found out something interesting recently, though. If you put your blood on this flower, Henrik, it will seed. Just a thought. Just something for you to ponder. If you really believe it was a dream, then when you put your drop of your blood on the flower, nothing will happen, and it'll be simply your weird stewardess having some sort of trip on milk of the poppy, maybe. Or I'm right.
Sort of hold out my hand. I don't have a dagger or anything to poke myself with, but just like looking at that and the flower.
Mm-hmm.
I have a letter opener if you want it, and I'll hold one out to him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I grab it, but I don't take it from her.
Okay.
I believe you. I don't think you've ever been wrong about anything my entire life. And I don't know how you came to that conclusion that my blood will cause this thing to grow, but I believe you, and I don't like the feeling of where I was and what I saw, and I don't think you did either. I don't want to know what will happen if my blood gets on it. Not right now.
Soon, though, as soon as Thorsten finds out that you know, I have a feeling he'll
Of
want
course,
to know.
Thorsten knows.
Thorsten knows everything. Thorsten, if I'm right 100% of the time, Thorsten is right 150%, which is hard to do.
Right. My parents know?
No. No. In fact,
Okay.
you can't tell them. Or Mariella, or Tisea, or Garrick, or Nero. You can talk to Cedric. He knows.
Of course, I'm pretty sure this affects my family as well as yours. Why don't they know?
Henrik. You're right. It does. The difference is your family has caused this. My family has to clean it up.
I don't think it should be like that, don't you? I think you should at least have help.
I do have help. I have plenty of help. But that's not how this goes.
Can I help you?
Yes, you can. For the good of the Asterwoods, for the good of the Weirlights, for the good of the Reach. Perhaps you should, but I would never force you into anything, Henrik.
You don't have to. You're the reason my family and my house is still standing, and the reason why several times I'm alive, so help you. I don't like the idea of my family not knowing things, especially after all that happened because we were so blind and thought that everything was all right and we could just keep going on the way we were. It'd be nice if it was that way and everything was all peaches and creams, but it's not. At least I'd like to know about that. Make it better, at least.
I can't hide things from your parents forever, Henrik. I'm very good at it. For a while. Have been good at it. For a while.
I know, I watched and learned from you too.
If you think that the end goal here is to cover this up and leave it for the next Asterwood, that's not it. This is different. It's never been like this before. So eventually, when the time is right, more accurately, when the time cannot be pushed back any further, your parents will know.
Well, and then hopefully we'll have an answer. And a solution, at least.
Hopefully.
All right. As we kind of pull back on that scene from Chris's tower, and we kind of see down the festivities below, other events about to start, things getting quite deep and exciting. Unfortunately, we are going to have to call it there tonight. Apologies, but please join us next time for more no risk fun shenanigans. But we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for coming out and watching us. I know this is not happy. You guys are. It's much past Halloween, but to us, a happy Halloween. I think wanted to get something spooky in, at least for us.
Mhm.
And spooky it was.
But thank you guys for coming out. Please join us next time for the continuation of the Chronicles of House Weirlight. Good night.
Good night.